The faithful in Detroit are getting a new shepherd. Today is Wednesday, February 12th. From Ave Maria Radio, this is Michigan Mornings. Good morning from Ishpeming. I'm Matthew Handley. Let's begin with this news. Pope Francis announced yesterday that Bishop Edward Weisenburger will be the next Archbishop of Detroit. Bishop Weisenburger is currently the Bishop of Tucson, Arizona, and his announcement comes at the same time that the Holy Father accepted Archbishop Vigneron's resignation. The current Archbishop offered his resignation when he turned 75, as is the requirement in canon law. Archbishop Vigneron and Bishop Weisenburger gave a press conference yesterday in Detroit, and I'll have highlights and more information on this change in a few minutes. Lawmakers in Lansing have until February 21st to change the state's minimum wage rules and paid sick time laws, since they will go into effect on that date. Right now, the Republican-led House and the Democratic-controlled Senate have not managed to progress any legislation to the governor to modify the changes. The trade groups, including Michigan Chamber of Commerce, remain optimistic the changes will be implemented before the deadline. If new bills are passed in the next week, however, they'll have to be signed by Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, as Governor Gretchen Whitmer is in the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. Last month, the House approved legislation that scales back sick leave rules and retains the lower tipped wage for restaurant workers. The Senate has not voted on any legislation. Some are saying President Trump's tariffs are causing issues in the United States' automotive industry. Ford Motor Company CEO Jim Farley described the 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum as currently adding, quote, a lot of cost and a lot of chaos, end quote, to the industry. He also included Trump's threatened levies of the same amount on Mexico and Canada. Farley said at a conference that if Trump could bring more production to the U.S. like he's discussed, it would be one of the, quote, most signature accomplishments. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources says bird flu has killed at least 300 wild birds in the state. More than 80 Canadian geese were found dead near the Shiawassee River in Owasso last week. 77 dead geese were found in Allegan County and 100 dead birds in Washtenaw County. The DNR wants to remind Michiganders to leave dead birds alone, and if you must remove a bird on your property, to use proper precautions. And the 2025-21 World Ice Fishing Championship is now underway in West Michigan. The event is taking place on Tamarack Lake in Lakeview. This is the first time it's been hosted in Michigan. There will be 3 days of fishing before the competition takes place this Saturday and Sunday. You're listening to your local news and weather on Ave Maria Radio's Michigan Mornings. Now this.
Do you have a teenager at home who's full of potential? Too often the world is telling you to be content with mediocrity instead of raising respectful and responsible young adults with strong character. Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Ray. If you need some help, not only to navigate those teen years, but to really enjoy them, check out my book, Standing Strong, Good Discipline Makes Great Teens, as well as my other books on the store page at AveMariaRadio.net.
In Detroit today, we're looking at cloudy skies to start, but that'll turn to snow in the afternoon. Our high will be 29, and we'll get about an inch of new accumulation. Overnight, that snow continues, and we'll also have some freezing rain. We'll have about 3 more inches of snow added to the ground. Our low will dip to 25. Thursday, the snow tapers off in the morning commute. We'll have mostly cloudy skies and a high near 30. Friday will be partly sunny with a high near 25. Today in Saginaw, we are looking at snow in the afternoon. We'll have about an inch accumulate on the ground. Our high will be near 26. A winter weather advisory starts this afternoon as well and continues through this evening. Tonight we'll have snow with steady temperatures around 25. We'll get about 4 inches added to what's already on the ground. The snow continues through tomorrow morning in the commute. Otherwise, we'll have mostly cloudy skies and a high near 27. Friday will be partly sunny with a high near 24. Welcome back to Michigan Mornings. I'm Matthew Handley. Yesterday, Pope Francis appointed Bishop Edward Weisenburger to be the next Archbishop of Detroit. He introduced himself at a press conference yesterday where he shared how he responds to God's call.
Those who know me know that I am very, very seldom speechless. But when the nuncio called me, I tried to stammer twice, and then he began laughing. So as I eventually was able to talk, he said, just say yes. And it reminded me of a time in the seminary when I was told I was going to be going overseas, and seminarians, that was pre-internet days. There was electricity, but it was pre-internet. And you would go for 4 years, coming home only once. You wouldn't see family or friends, and I thought about perhaps not going. And I went to my spiritual director and poured out all the reasons why I should stay in the local seminary, and he graciously listened. And at the end, he said, if you decide to ask not to go to Europe, I will understand. But at some point, yes has to become your default setting. Yes has to kind of well up from within you, whatever it is the church asks of you. And so I've been doing my best now for 37 years to say yes. And it's been a wonderful journey thus far, and I think it'll be a wonderful journey ahead.
The Archbishop-elect will be installed at Blessed Sacrament Cathedral in Detroit on March 18th. And at that point, Archbishop Allen Vigneron, who has led the Archdiocese for 16 years, will take on the title Archbishop Emeritus, a title he will share with Cardinal Adam Maida, who turns 95 on the day Archbishop-elect Weisenburger will be installed. Also at the press conference, which took place at Sacred Heart Major Seminary, Archbishop Vigneron took the opportunity to thank those who he had worked with over the years and noted the fittingness of the locale.
I am particularly touched that the conclusion of my ministry as the Archbishop happens here at Sacred Heart, where I came in the autumn of 1962 as a ninth grader.
He says he will live in an apartment at the seminary and support the diocese in whatever ways he is asked. We welcome Archbishop-elect Weisenburger and know that you are in our prayers. The audio in this segment was courtesy of the Archdiocese of Detroit. I'm Matthew Handley. That's going to do it for this edition of Michigan Mornings on a Wednesday. Lord willing, I will talk to you again tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.